the interview room. Muzzy checking in, the time's here. How you all doing? All right, let's begin. Let's have a chat about the fact that I want to interview the best fighters in the world, and that's that. Had a lot of guests from everywhere, all across the globe. Fighters tell me about the journey.
Greetings, boys and girls, girls and boys. Mudzy here from Muay Thai Interviews once again. My next guest this evening that I'm having a chat with, he's established himself as a world-class striker in Muay Thai. He was the first foreigner ever to be sponsored at Santai Gym in Chiang Mai. He's also a commentator on Domination Livestream along his companion Sam Ballantyne. He is now trying his hand at MMA, where he trains out of the MMA clinic in Willetton, Perth, and he also has a successful business called Altered States Float. I'm joined by the man himself, Mini T, Dan Williams. How are you, bud?
Yeah, good, Muddy. Thanks for having me on, man.
Mate, thanks for
pretty much spot on with everything you just said at the start. So good intro.
Well, if I missed anything, let me know, mate. We can do another take.
Yeah.
So, you used to train out of Calsoc Muay Thai in Perth. So, how did you find martial arts, and was that your first experience ever?
So yeah, as long as I can think of, man, early as I can remember, I should say. I've always just been interested in martial arts. Like I know my brother was quite into it. He started off doing karate when he was 5 or something, and then when I was 5, I ended up starting off with karate or taekwondo, and it's just been non-stop since then. So I did try like quite a few martial arts.
Yep.
There's probably not much that I didn't try. And my parents were like full supportive of it. I think they really wanted us to know how to defend ourselves. So it's just always been anything I knew. Like I was always interested in martial arts. So yeah, Muay Thai though, I think I got into that. There was an advertisement in our local paper for Muay Thai, and I was about 10 or 11 years old. And my mum being Thai, it was just like, yeah, it's something that I've always wanted to do, because when I was little, I'd see the fight nights. My uncle was like a Thai boxer. So as soon as it came in to close to home, like straight in there, and that's how it started.
Oh, okay. So, whereabouts in Thailand is home for you?
So my mum's from Chiang Rai, which is next to Chiang Mai.
Yep.
And yeah, Chiang Rai.
Yeah, nice, beautiful, beautiful spot. I was actually there probably 6 months ago, like a few weeks after the the Thai soccer team.
Yeah, no shit. My parents were over there same time.
Yeah, I went down there.
Hectic, hey?
It is, man. Yeah, we tried to it was all fenced off. We couldn't go through the cave, even though the rains and everything is subdued. But yeah, it was pretty gnarly to see what the kids and they were stuck there for like 10 days or 12 days or something like that, just to see what they were going through. It's pretty nuts. So you found Muay Thai when you were about 10. What was it that
10 or 11.
Yeah, so what was it that attracted you to Muay Thai, and did you always want to fight, or did that just progress later on?
Well, I remember one of the first fight nights I seen in Chiang Rai, because I used to go there like every school holiday.
Yep.
And there were actually these young kids fighting. So I was like, oh, that's cool. Like, I wish I was one of them. I just had this fantasy in my head, like, oh, I'd love to jump in there and like win a fight, be a champion. The crowd starts screaming and all that.
Yeah.
So it was just a big thing that I remember, just seeing my first fight night, which sort of inspired me. And as soon as, it opened up to like our local area, like I was stoked to do it. And yeah, like I remember starting it again. I didn't think that I would be a fighter or anything like that. I just pretty much like was doing it. I know my brother was a bit more keen to have a fight, and then I sort of just followed in his footsteps. But I know all the other martial arts I did before that, it was kind of like I got over it really quick, and it was more like my parents in the end, like pushing us to go. So it was cool to find something like Muay Thai where like I actually loved, and then I just, stuck it out.
And so how is your Thai? Are you fluent?
Oh, good time of day. Not very good. Hey, it's like I'll know a little bit to get by, but like it's something that I really wish I could learn properly. I still do have hopes with it. Like I just downloaded this app the other week. I'm like, fuck, all right, I got to do it now. But It's just enough to get by. I couldn't have a proper conversation with someone.
The thing is, languages are hard if you're not practicing it every day or all the time.
Exactly. Yeah, you got to really be persistent with it.
I do the same. Like when I was going back from FIFO, like probably halfway through the week, I'd like pick up stuff, but then go back to work for another 3 or 4 weeks, and then you come back and you forget almost 90% of what you learned.
Yeah. How are you with your Thai? Pretty good?
Nitnoi.
Nitnoi.
I'm the same as you. Like I know enough. Like I could go out in Bangkok by myself and get around, like speaking directions and stuff for Thai, but just the basics.
That's it. The thing with me is though, like my accent can be pretty good with the words that I say, and then obviously looking very Thai.
Yeah.
Like when they speak back to me, I don't understand. They're like, "Is this guy like? He looks sus. Like, what's going on here?"
Or sometimes, like I'll try and do the right thing and start talking in Thai and have a conversation. They're like, "Oh, you speak Thai?" I'm like, "Nitnoi." And they're like, and then they go, brrr, and I'm just like, no, slow down, shasha, pasa Thai, shasha.
Yeah, shasha. Oh man, that's good.
So, with your with the Muay Thai, you quickly established yourself as one of the best 55 to 58 kilogram fighters in Australia at the time, when you were in your prime. What do you think was the secret to your success, and what was it like training out of Calsoc back in the days? Because I know it's a lot different to what it is now.
The old shit, hell yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, man. To be honest, I just reckon I had like the best people around. I had these parents that would, do a lot for me. My meal preps and all that. And that's all I would think about. Hey, I was obsessed with it. I had no responsibilities being a young kid.
Yeah.
Like as soon as I finished high school, I went into university, but I did that like to the slowest possible. So I'd do like half the units. I would defer for like up to 2 years. I would go traveling and pursue like the Muay Thai, and do my training camps at Sandthai Muay Thai. So for me, it was like I didn't have any responsibility, and my focus was just Muay Thai. Like I had a part-time job doing bloody window cleaning, and all I would do is just put the headphones in and just fantasize about my fights, and it was just an ongoing obsession. So, and then having the people around me that were fully supportive, it was just a recipe to be a champ, I suppose.
Yeah, definitely. You're only as good as the people you surround yourself with.
Yeah.
Now, you fought, the best in your weight division in Australia. You got the chance to fight in Japan for a big K1 promotion. Can you tell me about that?
Yeah, so I actually fought in a promotion called Rise.
Yep.
And that was in 2012 or 13. And that was my first experience at K1. It was different, high tempo speed. Thought I did enough, but you got to really beat the champ over there.
Yep.
So, and then I got the K1 call up. I think it was after I fought Andy Howson CMT, because he was supposed to go over there. And then he didn't want to bar of it because he wasn't into K1 either, and the money wasn't good for him. So then his manager or whatever asked me, and I was straight onto it. I was like, yeah, I used to play that game. Like I loved K1, so it was just like an awesome experience. But unfortunately, I went over there twice. Like first time, same thing. I thought I did enough the first fight, and but it didn't go through because of the tournament.
Yep.
It was like an 8-man tournament. It was like a $25,000 prize. And then the second time, because I did all right, I got to have like another shot with this French guy, and then he bloody knocked me out in the first round. That was my first stoppage ever. So it was just like I was never successful over there.
Yep.
And K1, yeah, it's a little bit different, man. High tempo, got to be good with your hands. And, I missed the old clinch just to have a break because I was just gassed every time.
So would you say that that's what your K1 sort of exposed your hands a little bit, and that's when you realise you need to work on your boxing a bit more?
Yeah, I suppose. Like just that general fatigue of like just 3 minutes, like from the bell, just going hard, and just with the hands, like if I get rocked in that, I'll just grab on for a bit and then just keep doing that till I recover.
Yeah.
But it was just fast tempo, man. Just like, especially when you're fighting guys that aren't like that traditional Muay Thai base, so I was getting like shots from all over the place. It's like, fuck, this is different. And training traditional Muay Thai for it just had its flaws.
Yeah, that's right. I remember. I think it was Sam Ballantyne, man. He fought when he was out of Calsoc, he fought K1 and he elbowed the guy like 3 times.
Typical Sam, eh? That guy can write a book. He's done a few funny things.
I know, but because you could see him when he was. I remember watching him fight, and he'd throw the elbow, and you could just see him like, "Oh fuck, sorry, I didn't mean to do that," and then like, yeah.
Well, I don't know. He probably did on purpose. Typical Bozy.
Yeah. What was I up to here? Oh, that's right. Yeah. So you fought in Japan. You fought in the IFMA Games in 2014, and was it the IFMA 2015, or was it something a little bit different?
I did, yes. I did the World Champs 2014 in Malaysia, and then I did the 2015. It was like the University World Cup.
Yep.
And that was in Bangkok. So, yeah, it was a bit different.
So
2014, I was in the Philippines at the time. So I ended up staying. I only went over there for a month. I wanted to try something different and a place to work on my hands.
Yep.
And MMA was always something that I wanted to give a good crack at later on after my Muay Thai career.
Yep.
So I was like, that's cool. I'll go there, change it up a bit instead of going to Thailand. And ended up getting asked to stay as like one of the coaches, and they would organise fights for me. They would just take like a cut from it and stuff like that. So ended up staying there for a while, and then I still got asked to go to the IFMA World Champs, and went over there in 2014, and like I think all of us all the professional team, we got knocked out first round, so it ended up being like a big Aussie piss fest. The best time ever, man. Like 100%, one of the best holidays I've been on. Yeah.
I also heard that when you fought in Japan after your fight, that you had a bit of a good time after that as well.
Yeah, it has to be done. Japan's such a different country. It's like so much shit we could do there in Tokyo, so we just made the most of it and had a good time.
Exactly, mate. And like I've never been there, but I've had mates and some of the photos and all the things that they've gadgets and everything that they've got going on there. It's just not from this world.
Yeah, 100%. And like with Jordan too, so I got to go over with like one of my best mates, and we just had a wicked time. He's like bloody lunatic, fighting in taxis and stuff like that. There's no care in the world.
Just going back to when you said you were training in the Philippines to do some MMA before you got the call up to do the IFMA Games.
Yeah.
What gym were you at in the Philippines? Because I think at the moment the Philippines are actually quite strong in MMA. I think they've got like 3 or 4 current champions and 1 FC.
Yeah, that's at Lakay, Team Lakay, really strong gym. But I was in Legacy, it's called. It's actually owned by Ole Larsen. You heard of Ole?
I've heard of the name, but I don't know much about.
Yeah, he fought in the K1 scene, fought everyone, Borkow, Gargo Drago, Sam Beatties, all of those guys, John Wayne Park. Oh, he hasn't fought John Wayne Park yet, I don't think. But yeah, he's like half Filipino, but he actually lives in Ubon Ratchathani, so he's got a Legacy gym in Thailand. He's got a Thai wife.
Yeah. And
it was sort of new when I went there, and I came across a YouTube video. A guy called Ray Elby. He's like Chris Cyborg's ex-partner or whatever.
Yeah.
I think he works at Tiger Muay Thai or something like that. But he had this video because he was filming the gym. And then after I watched that video, I was like, hell yeah, I want to go there. Something different. And it was like fairly new. So there was good Filipino boxing coaches. And then there was one BJJ coach. And then a few other American guys that did like the Muay Thai and stuff like that. It was just a full different experience to what I was used to with the Muay Thai training.
And did you get out of it what you came there for?
Not really, man. Like I ended up being a pisshead, to be honest. Like, something I look back at now is like I had like the grounds to like really develop on some certain skills. Like, don't get me wrong, my boxing improved heaps,
Yeah.
but I was in a different mindset as well, like being young and just sort of being free. So there was a lot of other backpackers that would come train. They weren't exactly interested and they party a lot, so I just joined them and didn't really grasp on the opportunity, which sort of sucks. But yeah, sometimes you just got to experience it being a youngin.
It's the experiences that make us who we are today.
Yeah, exactly.
So, and also at the start I mentioned you've spent some considerable amount of time in Chiang Mai, Thailand, training and fighting out of War Santai Gym.
Yeah.
And you were also the first ever foreigner to be sponsored. So how did that all happen and what made you decide on that particular gym?
Yeah, so I always wanted to do a Muay Thai camp because I was had a few fights here in Perth and I was like 17 or 18 and I just wanted to actually train in Chiang Rai. So it would be, you see if there was a gym there, typed it in, and
Yeah.
there was no gym there, and then all the gyms are in Chiang Mai. So I was like, oh, just go to Chiang Mai then. And then I came across Santai Gym, and I just, you know, liked everything about it on their website. So I just hit them up, and then I organized a 3 week trip initially. And then I went there, met Nick, the owner. I think he just bought the place too. So he was, I think, not even a year he was there.
Yep.
And Nick and Ood, like, really good with what they did with the gym. And then, like, when I came home, he messaged me and I think I had a fight over there. And then when I came home, he messaged me, like, do you want to come over and spend a bit of time here, like, as a sponsored fighter? So then I was like, yep, freaking deferred uni again, and then just went over there and then done that like 2 or 3 times.
Yeah, beautiful. What was that? What were those experiences like each time you went? Were they different?
Yeah, I think guess every time was different because the gym just kept developing. Hey, like it just what they did with the place. Like Nick's really really good with keeping the trainers in order because
Yeah.
a lot of Thai gyms the trainers will freaking go back home. They'll just disappear. They won't come back. They'll just end up being lazy.
Yep. Yep.
And Nick's just on to him, like, you got to train these guys hard because he just had this vision, like, all right, I want to make a fight team, and he's doing it now.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So it's just a good gym to pick. Hey, I'm glad I picked Santai as opposed to some of the other ones. It would have been a different story, I reckon.
Oh, definitely, man, definitely. And what I wanted to ask you is, with Santai, did you have a particular trainer or a pad holder that you gelled with, or did you
Yeah,
had a
exactly.
couple?
Like, back to your questions thing, was it different every time? So that was the main thing. Like, every time I went there, I'd have like a different trainer.
Yeah.
So it was just a chance to work on different skills. And yeah, I just always got along with the trainers there, so it was great.
And also, backpedaling again, when you're at Calsoc, and for those listening who don't know what Calsoc means, that's Thai for knee elbow.
Yep.
Who was your main trainers at Calsoc?
So Jack 300, 100%. Like um, yeah, he's one of the best trainers I've ever had. So he just really like sort of fit my style a lot. So he brought that explosiveness into me.
Yep.
And I know he spent a bit of time in Japan as well. So yeah, he's sort of a different style for a fighter, which really works well with Westerners here.
Yeah.
Yeah, real stocky dude. And, he'd like come in sometimes, just be angry as shit and just belt the shit out of us. And it was just like, yeah, different dynamic to training.
Mate, he looks like a scary dude. You can just look
Ah.
at you can see his face and you can just see like all the scar tissue all around his eyebrows and
Yeah, man.
you're like, that guy's had a fair few wars.
Yeah, but the good thing with Calsoc as well, like Darren, like he brings a whole nother element to just getting that mental sort of toughness into you. So you think you'd be done with a session, and he would come round and you just be trying to kill you up with any sort of drills that he has. And then he was a demon himself, so like getting to grapple him, like super strong in the grapple.
Yeah.
So it was like to have Darren and Jack there was the best combo for me. And another thing too, Darren he brought in a lot of trainers. Like we had a Russian Andrei Molchanov, like he was 8-time world champion or something. So he brought a different dynamic to our training. It was good to train with him. Then he brought like Mark Poutney, who was another notable like Aussie fighter that just was really good at like speaking to you and inspiring you.
Yeah.
Like, you can be a champ and stuff like that. So yeah, it was just like the people that Darren got in, like definitely shaped a lot of the fighters there from the shed to be where they are now.
And he's still getting more people in because I saw the other
Yeah.
week he's got like another tie over, and so it seems to be
Oh,
going from
100%, man. I can't keep up. Like, it's just awesome how he's bringing like a proper Thai gym into Perth. So you don't need to go to Thailand for, months at a time, and that we've got it right here.
Exactly. And I want to get your thoughts. What are your thoughts? Well, obviously I know you're for it, but what are your thoughts on gyms getting in Australia and whatnot, getting Thai trainers? Because I mean, it works for your gym and a lot of other gyms, but then you get other gyms in the country who won't go down that route. They'll just have their own trainers from Australia or whatever.
I suppose because you just don't know what Thai trainer you're going to get sometimes, if they're going to bring external issues in, or they're going to stick it out, or they're going to be a lazy pad holder.
Yeah.
So that shit can happen. But yeah, with Cowstock, he's brought in so much. So if they don't work out, you just get another one in.
Yeah, definitely. That's one way of putting it, isn't it? Out with the old, in with the new. And with your time in Thailand when you were a sponsored fighter at Santai, what was that like fighting? Because I believe you had some good wins, but you also copped a few hard losses.
Yeah, man. So, just to be able to fight so regularly,
Yep.
that just really put me on a different level, because you get more condition, you get more experience, and I always believe like being in the ring is the best training you can get.
Yep.
And being in Thailand, like the pressure just wasn't the same. So it's like, you just rock up, you see your opponent standing next to you, he's come from school or something like that as well. He's pretty relaxed as well. So it's just like takes away that pressure. So it's almost like training.
Yeah.
Like you go in there for a fight, whereas opposed to fighting here, there's a lot more pressure. You got to promote yourself a little bit, and there's more people watching and stuff. So it's really good to just have so many fights there and just not really care, or not take the losses like to heart too much.
Yeah.
Just know that, all right, I'll get back in there next week if I'm good.
Yeah.
But yeah, I definitely, it was good. I had more wins than losses, but yeah, some of those losses, like one notable one, originally it was supposed to be for a WPMF world title.
Yep.
And a guy called Toy. And funnily enough, he was actually matched to fight Roy Wills like ages ago in Battle Colossal.
Yep.
And that didn't go through because apparently he had like hepatitis or something like that. He didn't pass the bloods.
Yeah. Yeah.
So then I found that out, and then it's like, shit. And then he wouldn't weigh in either. So they changed it to like 67 kilos, and I was 63 kilos. But like, I wanted a world title, man. So I didn't really understand about the weight difference. I was like, screw it, I spy heavy people anyway.
Yeah.
And then there was that risk of hepatitis. I'm like, fuck it. Like, as long as I got my shots in, because you don't know. There's probably heaps of Thais I fought that have bad blood.
Yep.
But anyway, back to the topic. Yeah, so then anyway, he didn't weigh in, and I weighed in, and it was kind of weird. And then that's when I was like, fuck, man, this just doesn't feel right at all. Anyway, went to the fight night, and then I remember just shitting myself. I just usually I'm just pretty brave. I'm like, fuck, I just don't feel right at all. And then as he came out running, his legs were fucking so big, man.
Yeah.
I was like, oh shit. He was like, it was one of those stages, like it was pretty big promotion in some sort of country town. And his thuds like into the ring, like running up to the stage. I was like, oh fuck, what have I got myself into? And then, it didn't last one round. He just kept leg chopping me, and then even punching through my guard. Like I was starting to get rocked a bit, and I was like, fuck. And then just the heart went, and it's like, all right. And then he just chopped me that bad, and I couldn't walk properly for a week. So it was like a bit of a different experience, and it's good to know like weight does matter.
Yeah.
So I got that out of my system quick. Thought I was invincible, I'll fight anyone.
Yeah. Is he the heaviest opponent you've ever? So what was he? 67 and you were 63.
Nah, so he would have been around 70 for sure. Had to be because he was supposed to weigh in at 67 or something like that, but he didn't weigh in. It was his dad's promotion as well, so it was just a bit dodgy. And then, yeah, I was a little fella compared to him, but we're the same height. So it was like, in Thailand they go by height as
Yeah.
well. So if you're the same height, like, you can fight anyone. But yeah, he's just super strong. He had that He was from Calcium originally, so he had that full, like, similar to Sitmonchar, I suppose, like really good hands, and then follow up with leg kicks.
Yeah. Moi Fumu. How do you say it? Fema. Moi Fema.
Yeah,
It was
yeah. Went from here.
Dodgy promotions in Thailand? That doesn't sound right, does it?
It happened. No shit. Yeah, you hear a lot of stories about that. Just you just never know who you're gonna fight in Thailand. Like even like Nick and Ood don't even know half the time. Well, they do, but it's just like you just never know. Like it could be someone. The promoter will tell them it's this guy, and then you rock up, it's not that guy.
No,
But that's the joys of fighting in Thailand, man.
That's like we were talking about before here. Like Chiang Mai, Thailand is very known for it. Like because someone was telling me, basically the way Thais treat Muay Thai is like how we treat playing soccer. So.
Yeah.
Like obviously we take Muay Thai very seriously, but for them, because they do it all the time, it's like us just going to training. We'll go train or go play a game on Saturday with your mates. Then after the game, you have a few beers and then you go off or whatever. It's exactly, mate. I've seen it like a Thai. He won a belt, and then he's hopping on the back of a scooter with his belt around his thing, like got to go to school the next morning. That's just what they do.
Yeah, nah, for sure. I remember the first time I seen that, like one of the foreigners I was training at the gym. And like, the main card Thai guy was just so funny because he rocked up with his school uniform and then he had his fight, and then same thing, put his school uniform back, had like a few cuts in his head, and just freaking got on the scooter. And then 3 days later he was on like fighting again. I was like, Jesus.
Yeah. I remember one of the trainers I had at KC Muay Thai. He didn't train at all ever. And he was a pad holder, but he didn't train himself, and he was like a alcoholic, so he'd get pissed every day. So like I went to watch him fight one night, and we're literally just sitting there at the bar drinking beers. He's smoking durries, and while the guys are wrapping his hands, and then he goes out, knocks out this Thai, and then just goes back to the bar and keeps drinking. No bullshit, no word of a lie.
It's crazy.
It is, mate. So in saying that,
there is freaking inspiring.
Yeah. Well, mate, it does my head in because it's like, we lose fitness like real quickly, but because they've been doing it their whole lives, they can, quite easily not hit pads for 3 months and then go and fight full 5 rounds.
Yeah, be smart about it, eh? Like it's just that memory to them.
That muscle memory. Yeah.
Exactly.
So in saying that, buddy, do you prefer fighting Thais or foreigners, or you don't really care?
Man, to be honest, I probably preferred fighting Thais just because I know they like a lot of the Thais I fought, they didn't like the pressure, so they would want they want to do the kick points and just be a bit more technical because it's a big thing on the judges' scorecards as well. You got to have good technique and execute shots.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was just I found it. Yeah, I guess I was more comfortable fighting a Thai because I sort of knew what to expect. Whereas a foreigner, you don't really know, like, if they're training Thai style or if they're going to be more K1. Like, yeah, it was just different. But with a Thai, you just sort of always knew what you're going to get.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Now, you're trying your hand at MMA, and you're currently training out of the MMA clinic, like I said at the start, in Willerton.
Yeah.
Why the switch, and what challenges does MMA present to you that Muay Thai could not offer?
Yeah, so MMA is something that I've always wanted to do. Like, I was always interested in it. I've seen all the original UFCs, and I just like that idea of being a complete fighter.
Yeah.
So, it's like a free-for-all. That's how I looked at it. So it's something that I definitely wanted to try. And then, after doing Muay Thai, I got my title, and then like K1 would have been the pinnacle for me. Because like for our weight class, there's not much out there, and then not succeeding in that, it's just like, all right, now it's time to try MMA.
Yep.
And it was a bit of a hard move. Like freaking Calsock's my home and family, so it sucks not being there all the time. But it's just something that I've always wanted to do. And basically, sorry, someone's trying to call me. Yeah, so there's an MMA clinic opened up in Willerton, and that's where I live.
Yep.
So I did the trial there, and then I did BJJ, and I got hooked with that because like I think it was like a 48 kilo girl that I did BJJ with, and she like submitted me left, right, and center. I was like, what the fuck? This is crazy.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was hooked on that, and then basically with my work now, it's like I don't finish till late afternoons, and the gym is literally like 200 meters down the road, and they do morning and afternoon classes, so it fits my schedule a lot more. So it's like now's the perfect time to like actually focus on MMA.
So do you still do your Muay Thai training at Calsoc, or do you do everything at MMA clinic?
So no, I definitely like in the perfect world I would still get down at least 2 to 3 times a week. And my last MMA fights I had, I did go down there in the mornings,
Yep.
like leading up to it. But at the moment, no, it's a bit hard just with the work structure and everything. So like eventually, hopefully, like I could still do a few sessions there and that. Like Darren's full supportive of it, so it's really like nice to know that I can work on my stand up there as well. And then yeah, mix it up. So I've still got my striking, and then I can focus on a bit more other things with MMA at the MMA clinic.
Yeah, and I wanted to ask you, having your fight on CMT in the 4 ounce gloves, is did you having that fight? Is that what made you go, all right, I want to
Yeah,
try MMA?
well, for sure. Like just doing it in that was like, yeah, I definitely want to do MMA because that was an experience with those gloves. I was like, oh, so raw. Like you can't really block. So
No.
any shot that you had, it was like crap, and like the adrenaline just pumps. So yeah, definitely different type of adrenaline going through that fight. But it's not the same though. MMA, I've experienced it now. It's like, yeah, you can't just be freaking strike happy because I'm just going to get taken down every single time from my striking experience. So it's almost like starting from zero again as a complete beginner, which is good because with Muay Thai I've done it for more than 10 years now, and just to have that inspiration back to
Yeah.
like start the ground stuff is like really perked me up and set new goals.
Yeah, because I remember you took a fight on, like, I think it was 24 hours notice, maybe not even, um, and the guy just
Yeah.
took you down straight away.
Yeah, not like 30 seconds or something, he rear naked choked me. So it was like, oh yeah, all right. That was a good like, all right, I need to start working on this shit. Now I've stepped in the cage. It's happened now. So now let's focus on the training and start this new journey.
And do you find that sort of like not a target on your back, but obviously a lot of people who follow MMA or Muay Thai in the particularly the Australian scene will know who you are, or that you've fought like a lot of fights in Muay Thai and you've won all these titles. So everyone's, when they do fight you in MMA, it's just take him down, take him to the
Yeah,
ground.
100%. Like it's gonna be like that. I fought another Muay Thai dude for my first pro fight. Um, because with me, it's like staying amateur would be hard to get fights.
Yeah.
So there was an opportunity to fight pro against another guy who was stand up, and what a legend, he like stood up and we just had a wicked brawl. And then the second one I had, like he took me down first round, and then it was just so hard to stay in there because I was just a whole different level of fitness, just getting freaking pretty much wrestled for 3 rounds straight, like 15 minutes straight. So yeah, and that's what I got to expect. Like so now the training sort of focus more on my disadvantage rather than my advantages.
Yeah, because that's what I was going to ask. Apart from the ground game, obviously, how does your training differ from MMA to Muay Thai?
Yeah, it's completely different now. Like, I mean, this year, like with work, it's opened up for me to train a bit more. So last year, taking those MMA fights, like, although I was training hard, but just nowhere near as I wanted to be because, like, with work, like running my own business, it was just I'll do like 4 days a week or something like that, and it was only like 1 2 hour session, so it just wasn't the thing I need to be like actually improving in my ground skills.
Yeah.
So yeah, now it's like I got a strength and conditioning coach, and he absolutely smashes me, and then I'm doing more private training stuff. So yeah, it's definitely completely different.
So, in saying that, would you ever consider coming back and fighting Muay Thai again, or is that ship long sailed?
Oh man, I definitely want to fight Muay Thai again. Like, I'm not closing that door for sure. But yeah, I know I'd have to like. I feel like I have because I've done pretty well Muay Thai, so I don't want to like go back on random fights in Muay Thai because
Yeah,
I want to sort of keep. I don't know. I feel like it's my legacy.
yeah,
Is gay as that sounds, but like yeah, that's something that I wouldn't do probably this year or next year. Who knows? But yeah, it's just right now my focus is MMA, but I do definitely want to fight Muay Thai again.
yeah. So that's not the last we've seen of Mini T.
Nah, nah, no way. Like, I mean, I gotta think positive, right? And like right now, like for a fantasy in my head, like
Yeah.
the one FC do Muay Thai and MMA, and like I would just love to be able to do both. That would be my dream, but obviously I gotta focus on the the ground stuff and the MMA first.
Oh, mate, just hit Chatri up. Just send him a message.
Yeah. Yeah, oh, I definitely want to have a few fights here just to, get the experience. Because if I just keep getting smashed every MMA fight, then might switch my thinking.
Yeah. Do you believe in ring rust?
Hmm, good question. Because I haven't like it's been what 3 years since I've had a Muay Thai fight, so I haven't really had like a ring rust sort of experience. Because when I fought Muay Thai, it was just constant for like 5 6 years. So yeah, I'm not sure. Like I guess so. You got to put that into play
So
if you've been out of it for so long.
who was your last opponent?
So a guy called Paul Loga. Oh, MMA or Muay Thai?
Sorry, Muay Thai. Yeah.
Yeah. Shit. It would have been a fighter in Chiang Mai. It was the San Camping Festival.
Oh yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
yeah,
Um.
he like kicked me in the elbow and then pretty much went down. So he wasn't the most notable sort of opponents I've had.
So after your last Muay Thai fight, did you know at the time or thereabouts after that was it for a while, or
Yeah, well, basically, because that was, yeah, I had it in mind to finish my studies as I've been sitting on it for so long. So I'm just going to take a break and just finish my studies this year, which I did. And then, yeah, I just never got back into it because I was doing a little bit of MMA, I'm pretty sure.
yeah?
And then I just thought now's the time to actually focus on it. So yeah, I can't really remember to be honest, but yeah, I don't think I had those feelings in Thailand thinking, this is it for a while. I'm pretty sure I still like was open to any fight offer, but I knew for a fact I was going to stop for at least 6 months just to finish my university.
Because I remember one time, but it never came to fruition for whatever reason. But you were meant to fight a Fairtex guy. Oh, what's his name? Yodzilla. In Perth, you were meant to fight him on some promotion.
Yeah,
So
yeah. So that got cancelled. That promotion. That would have been my last fight though, because that was
after your Chiang Mai trip.
Yeah, no, like because I had a bit of time off, and then I was supposed to fight. Oh yeah, maybe because I was supposed to fight Tepnimit,
Mr. Knock. Yep.
Mr. Knot, yeah, and then that fell through, and then I was supposed to fight Godzilla, and then that fell through. So yeah, maybe that just pissed me off too. I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna go do some MMA.
Yeah. Oh, that Tepnimit. That was sad for why that fight didn't go ahead. That was gut wrenching. But yeah. So I'll skip across that. But I want to ask, who has your toughest opponent been and why? And that could be for Muay Thai or MMA.
Yeah, it's a good question. Like I've had plenty of tough opponents, so it's hard to exactly remember how I felt in each fight. But I would say, I mean, my last fight was just a different sort of energy draining, like just being held down and wrestled, and you having to use every muscle and just survive that for 3 rounds. Like I was fucked, man. That feeling after, like I wasn't banged up. It's just the few days after that, I was just fatigued in the muscles.
Yeah.
So it was like, oh man, I just wanted to sleep like for 3 days straight.
Yeah.
So that was really like mentally hard in the fight and just exerting all my energy. But then like with Muay Thai, I think I'd say like a guy called Liam McNeil. Heard of him?
Yep.
He's like a Melbourne boy.
Yep.
So I fought Aaron Lee in CMT and beat him, and then I was gonna fight him again for his world title. And then in between that, I got asked to fight Rebellion against this Liam guy, and he did the same as me. He was living in Thailand fighting, so I was always there was a lot of pressure. I felt like I can't lose to this guy, but he's the same as me. He's this young guy that just focusing on Muay Thai, and he's fought heaps in Thailand. So I was actually quite worried about that fight too.
Yeah.
Because I couldn't lose that and then fight for the title. So I just remember coming out really hard that first round and pretty much gassed myself. I was fucked. And then the second round, like he dropped me with a wicked spinning back elbow. And then like I just don't remember much of the fight. So I was fighting on pure heart and like instinct. And like luckily I got the win. But I just remember like that being really, really hard in the ring. And then after it, I felt quite fucked as well.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, but other than that, I'm not too sure. Every fight's hard, really.
Yeah, definitely. And so
Unless you get those, the ties that just rock up and take a dive off a jab.
they need
had that, eh?
They need that paycheck, mate. Why they want to stand there and bang for 5 hard rounds when they can just take their paycheck after one?
Exactly.
And they don't have to go to work for a week. So do you still follow the Aussie Muay Thai scene at all?
Oh, definitely a little bit. Like it's all over my Facebook, so it's hard not to. I don't really like go out my way to follow fighters and look at all the fights, but if it pops up on Facebook, and I'll give it a watch. So yeah, I guess I am pretty up to date.
Yeah, and speaking of that, the Aussie Muay Thai scene, you're also a commentator on Domination, which is a joint promotion between your old gym, Cal Sock, and the Pit Muay Thai. So will we be seeing you or listening to you commentate on the next Domination?
Oh, I hope so. I definitely do enjoy that. Like the last few times I was on there, like absolutely no preparation. Had a few beers. You go up there and like there's fighters I didn't know too much about. So I've always thought like now I'd love to be a bit more prepared and engaging for the audience so they actually know who's the fighters are and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Because I think that's an important part, man. Nothing worse than watching your fight and you got some shit commentators voicing over the top of you. And like that's how I felt with the other dominations. So it's like, yeah, I definitely do want to keep that up and just be a bit more into it this time rather than just being ringside and freaking shouting, "Oh!"
Oh mate, I watched a promotion the other month, man, Coastal Warfare, and the commentating was terrible.
Yeah,
like they would have been honestly, they would have been better off just not having any commentators. They were just so biased and to their people from their own gym, and it's just like, mate, this is terrible.
Exactly, because I remember doing Toby versus some English guy.
Oh, Sam Goff.
Sam Goff, yeah. And man, me and I think it was me and Mitchell Seth at the time, or maybe someone else. I don't know, maybe Sam. But I just remember not knowing anything about him, and I was just saying it like, imagine all his family back home, just like, who are these dickheads on the mic? Like just talking up Toby and like, fuck, don't know anything about this guy. Yeah, it's not good.
That's right. If you're commentating on the next installment of Domination, let me know, mate. I'll write you a little sheet for you.
Oh, wicked! You should jump on. You should be one of the commentators, man.
Well, I'll just stick to my Muay Thai interviews, but we'll see.
Nah, I'll put it out. Would you do it?
Yeah, I would. Yeah.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, I would. Yeah, because I've got a head for radio. So it's all right.
Yeah, I'm not sure when the next Domination is. So I'm not sure if they're doing one anytime soon.
No, I think they're only doing, well, from what I've heard, I think they're only doing maybe one pro show this year and maybe an amateur show as well. But that's to be confirmed, I think. True. Now, one thing I want to have a bit of a chat with you about, because I know it's your nice little business venture. You and your brother have opened up Altered States Float. It's a business which seems to be going quite nicely for you both. What made you decide on this little venture, and what are the effects that people can expect from it?
Yeah, so like floating's always been a big part of my life, especially in my fighting career. I think I did about 7 years ago because came across this YouTube video of this guy like talking about his experience, and he's seeing heaps of shit, and I'm like, man, that's cool. Like, to be honest, like I was going through that, stage when I was younger, like trying different things and I suppose psychedelics and stuff like that.
Yep.
And that just intrigued me. It was like I read up on it, and it was like, it's um almost like you can recover from it as well because it's like you're in an environment where there's like no sensory input coming in.
Yep.
There's like no light, sound, touch, and your brain like pretty much goes into like a meditative state.
Yep.
And so that just intrigued me. I was like, so I can trip out and I can recover from training. Like that's definitely like my thing. So yeah, did it 7 years ago. Fell in love with it. Found it was really helping me out with my recovery as well as also visualizing. I was getting quite confident. Like I'll go in the tank, think about my fight, sort of dream state about my fights.
Yeah.
And then I'll come out and just it was raising my confidence because I was a super shy kid as well in high school. And like I felt like that helped me just I don't know in not give a fuck too much, not live in my head too much because I was always just living in my head like thinking of things. But with floating, it reduces fucking like brings your brain waves to a lower frequency. So it's like after you just sort of feel like you're in the moment.
Yep.
But yeah, so ended up the whole family was into it, so we're pretty lucky there. Dad's like instead of paying all of us paying for it, he looked into getting one, and then we had one in our house, and that's where just the dreams inspired of like, man, I want to open up one of these one day because we had people come over all the time and use it, and it was just a no-brainer. There was like not one in our area.
Yeah.
And it all happened, stars aligned, because my dad owns a unit in Willerton that he sort of got as an investment property. And, the end of lease from his last people, they were finished their lease.
Yep.
And that's when it's like, all right, now's the time to do it. Like, I really want to do it. My brother's was super keen in it because he had a bit of money behind him. And that's pretty much how it happened, man. And then now it's been a year and a bit now. Definitely still slow, like learning. Like, it's good, we're coming to a steady level, but it's like now, like, we need to get out there a bit more and like try to develop the business because all the hard work's been done now. So now it's just constant hustle of trying to manage a small business.
Yeah, I'll have to book in because I'm keen to give it a try.
Man, come in on the house for you. Like, just hit me up and just give it a crack because you haven't done it before, obviously.
No, I haven't done it at all.
Yeah. Man, if you're ever like super stressed out, like it's pretty powerful. Like you can go in there, spend 1 hour to 90 minutes, and you can come out feeling like your mindset sort of changed. Because once you can fully relax in there, like you're pretty much in this nothingness.
Yeah.
Like, of course, people can have dream state, like some weird things happen in there, but really you're just pausing everything. Like there's no distraction, and then you're just off weight for a while, and like you activate something called the parasympathetic nervous system, so your body goes into like a recovery mode. Sometimes spasm out in there because muscles are loosening up, and then you just feel fucking $1 million when you come out.
Oh mate, yeah, definitely. I'll have to book in for sure, 100%. Because I know a couple of your mate Jordan, who I've talked to before, he does it. Lots of other fighters do it. So yeah, I haven't actually heard any bad things about having a float, and it seems to be really taking off also in Chiang Mai or Thailand, but Chiang Mai as well.
Chiang Mai now, which sucks because that was like a next sort of like my brother was really looking into there, but he's still looking into doing something in Thailand with a float center. But like I think it's just because it's been around for years, but I think it's just the right time now that like just the way the world's going, just super fast paced. Everyone's stressed out. Not everyone, but like a lot of people are, because it's just the information overload, what's out there in the world. So it's just the right time that people have this device to just, switch off for a bit.
It does. the two main things I see coming up at the moment, and that I know that because of fighters, is the floats and the cryotherapy.
Yeah.
That's two
Yeah, a
things.
lot of, because you're getting like all these UFC fighters and stuff right into it, so the exposure's coming out.
Yeah.
And we got, in WA, one of the, Josh Kennedy from the Eagles, he like owns a float center up north. So it's like he's put that in the media. So it's like the exposure's coming out, so people getting more attracted to it. Whereas before it was sort of seen as like this hippie niche, freaking weird thing that like, why would you want to do nothing for an hour? But now people understand like doing nothing for an hour can make you more productive, or just a bit more like quality in your work or whatever you need to do.
Yeah. So if people want more information about your floats, or they want to book a session, how can they do that?
So you can jump on our website, which is asfloat.com.au. Otherwise, we've got a Facebook page, which is Altered States Float. And otherwise, hit me up personally. Like, I always look after fellow fighters or people that are in the fight scene, because it helps me in my career, and, it's helping other people that come in here. So it's always good to, like, promote that in that sort of sense.
Yeah, awesome, mate. And I've got to ask, so have you got any MMA fights lined up at the moment that you can talk about?
Yeah, so I'm really hoping I'll be fighting in about 6 to 7 weeks. The next Eternal MMA in Perth, and they got the new HBF Arena Stadium, and like I went there for the first one, it was like, holy shit, it's like a UFC promotion, the way they set it up.
Yeah.
With the stage and everything. So they're looking for a match for me, and no doubt probably get someone that's a beast on the ground. So I've already started my camp. Like, to be honest, I wish I still had more time, but the start of the year, I really never got out of my festive season. A little bit too much eating Maccas and whatnot. And then I had a few injuries as well. So like, bloody got staph infection and stuff like that. So the training just has only picked up since last week, and I got a strength and conditioning coach that's absolutely killing me. And it's like the shit that he's doing is worse, one of the worst I've ever felt, like worse than fights. So having this incorporated into my training now, like I'm already feeling pretty confident. So hopefully see some good results in the next 6 weeks in my training, and then just non-stop this year, because with the float center, like the first, year of setting it up, I was here like all the time. Training was like, the priority wasn't there for training, but now like we have a worker and my schedule's starting to free up a little bit, and I've got opportunity to train like morning and night. Like I'm starting to feel a lot more confident with where this could go.
Yep.
So yeah, man, like hopefully I'll just bang out heaps of fights this year and just keep going.
I wanted to ask you just said about your strength and conditioning coach has been killing you, and you've been sore for days and all that jazz. What's he implementing in your training to make you feel like that?
Yeah, so I think a big factor too was like my condition already going into this.
Yeah.
So my recovery is just a bit longer. But like I'm not really actually feeling like I'm feeling screwed up after the session, but the next day I'm pretty good, man. Like I love jumping in the float tank, going to the sauna. I do look after my body in recovery sides. And but just he's using the Airdyne, it's called. I don't know if you heard of that.
Yeah, it's like the bike thing where you move your arms forwards and backwards.
Yeah. Far out. Like, Jesus Christ. So pretty much he wants me to do it like, as much as I can. And before a session or whatever, even but normal training session, I'll jump on for like 5 minutes and get to about 75 calories. And it's just like, after the first minute on that thing, you just feel like you're in the last round of a fight, and you're like, fuck, I've got 4 minutes to go. And I just feel like crying every time. It's horrible. But he's, Ben Vickers at MMA Clinic, who manages it. He's like been a really big mentor for me. So he's like, setting up my training really nicely. And then with Jason, the strength and conditioning coach, he he's almost like having like a psychology session as well. So he's breaking things down and just making sense of things, and he's just keeping it basic as well, and like the things that I need for MMA. So just really fortunate how this has all come about this year.
Awesome, brother. Well, I've really enjoyed our chat. But just before I let you head, is there anyone that you want to thank or give a shout out to?
Oh man, there's too many people to thank because like, yeah, it's just I have the best people around me and all the support. So like anyone that's helped me in my Muay Thai career, like anyone's helped me now, like you're a bunch of legends, and anyone who's listening to this as well and supporting Muay Thai, like Mudzi, you're a legend for like even exposing like fighters that don't really get as much attention, and it's good to get an insight of like actual fighters because I mean it's cool you can watch a fighter like at a fight night, but when you actually know a bit of their background, it's you get like more involved in it. It's just so much better.
It's definitely right, man. Like, because as I was saying to a couple of people, like if I reach out to someone for a chat and then they agree, and then we have the chat. Then when I watch them fight, it's almost like we're not. I wouldn't say like your best mates, but it's like you've talked to that person, so you know a little bit of like what you were saying. You know a little bit about them. So like I probably get more nervous watching them fight than they do.
Yeah. Oh man, 100%. I remember my brother's first fight. I nearly fainted. I just don't understand how he could do it. Like,
Yeah.
Fuck, I was like feeling sick, passing out. Yeah, but oh man, it's a great spectator sport too. Don't get me wrong. I love going to fight nights and just being able to watch the fights.
Yeah.
Because it's just, sometimes like I'll be at the venue before fights. I'm like, fuck man, I don't want to fight, but I have to do it. Like a nerve kick in.
Like you're warming up on the pads and just like everything's feeling really heavy.
It's actually it's awesome for me to go to the Muay Thai now and just be a spectator.
Yeah, you don't have that pressure. You can just watch everyone else.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah, I like that too. All right, brother. Well, mate, thanks so much for your time, and best of luck with your MMA training. Hope to see you back into Muay Thai sooner rather than later, but I know I'm gonna have to wait. And also with your Altered State floats, brother. So I'll definitely book in a session, and definitely keen to give it a crack.
Nah, cheers, Muzzy. Like, appreciate you giving me a call, man. Because it's cool to like, I've been out of the scene for a while, and it's cool to just explain myself a little bit too, whoever's interested. So it's like awesome that you've like hit me up, and I love what you're doing too, man. So keep up the good work, and definitely pop into the centre, man. We'll have a beer after.
Yeah, mate. Sweet as. Catch you on the flip side.
Ask questions and investigate the lives of great warriors, revered and notorious, infamous and legendary. That to me is glorious. Come kick and still talk some shit with me. I'll ask so you can answer and explain to me the history. I had to throw a vicious knee. I got a passion for the art of 8 limbs. I'm just asking from the heart. So as I conclude this interview, thanks so much for sitting through. Love to all the fighters and the folks that listen. This for you.